presentation, I will be touching upon the knowledge question of what influences how women are treated and valued in different cultures. So my real life situation that got me thinking about my question is I recently read an article about how every month Sangeeta Kumra and Satishila Haridas are banished for approximately 5 days during their menstrual cycle from their village to be temporarily situated in a hut known as Gaupurs. Gaupurs don't have kitchens, cooking utensils, nor proper beds for the sole purpose that Sangeeta and Satishila will not be able to contaminate any food, impurify men, or holy places like the midst of what the elders say. They also are prohibited from attending school. Every time Sangeeta stays in the Gaupurs, she mentions that she feels lucky she has not yet to have stayed in the Gaupur alone by herself because it is dangerous because of the wild animals that appear around the areas of the Gaupurs. She also says that my mother tells me that this is our custom and we must do it. Satishila also says, I feel extremely bad that for 5 days I cannot even use my own cooking utensils from my own kitchen, but what can we do? It's part of our tradition and our culture. So the treatment of these two women is common upon other women. Their rights are violated as they are basically forced to be in a place where they are vulnerable to wild animals, as well as treated in a way as if they were a danger to the people around them, and by being prohibited from doing things. However, they seem to believe that this is what should be done because of certain influences. So what are these influences that make them believe that that being treated this way is okay? So my first claim is that people are more influenced by the people that they believe to be more intelligent and wise on how they should treat women. So this claim can be supported by the TLK textbook when it mentions about appeal to authority, basically meaning that because of their authority and superiority, the argument would be structured in their favor since they are believed to be right. An example of this is Charles Darwin, who has formulated theories of evolution, claims that women are incapable of comprehending the way that men do because they have the brain that is the size of monkeys, basically concluding that women are not compatible to learning the same as human men. People believe that this is true because Darwin is a public figure who is believed to be intelligent. Therefore, they believe it is true because they rely that he should know what he is talking about since he is intelligent. So learning about this claim helps contribute to my main knowledge question because this helps me understand that people were influenced by elders or leaders because elders and leaders are the ones who they believe to be wise and more intelligent when it came to figuring out how women should be treated or valued. This can also relate back to my real life situation because the Indians believed that the elders were more intelligent and wise. The elders basically meaning that the elders had the most huge influence on the people because as they told the myths of women, people started believing them, resulting in them feeling as though they needed to treat women a certain way because of these myths that the people believed were true because it was basically said from a supposedly intelligent person. My second claim to this is the tradition and culture in itself is what influences people to treat and value women the way they do because what comes with one's culture comes with beliefs which people start to believe are true as they grow up following these cultures and traditions. So an example of this, an example to illustrate this claim is that in Hmong culture, when Hmong women get married, they have a value that is placed on them which people within the culture start viewing women as objects that can be bought by paying a certain price. Also because women are more valuable based on the amount of housework that they are capable of doing, it pressures women to believe that they are only valuable if they are capable of also doing the same housework. Learning about this claim helps contribute to my knowledge question because it helps me comprehend that the culture and traditions can influence the beliefs of these young women, that it is okay to be treated the way they are treated because they become used to this lifestyle to the point where they don't even realize when their rights are being violated. And this claim can connect to my real life situation because Sangeeta and Satishila have been introduced and born in this lifestyle from the day they were born, where the practice of banishing a woman during menstrual cycle is so common that this becomes a normal lifestyle where they can't even they don't even realize that their rights are being violated. A counterclaim to this is people may say that traditional cultures are starting to become less followed and practiced, An example of this of that can help illustrate this claim is that since 1919, people in China have been trying to get rid of their traditional culture to replace it with a new one, portraying traditional culture as an enemy of modernization, as well as there being no use for culture any longer. They stopped following traditional cultures because they thought that they were useless. This counterclaim also contributes to my understanding of the main knowledge question, because it makes me understand that maybe the reason why they are still practicing these kind of practices is because they're afraid that their culture might die down, just like how the people in China want to get rid of their traditional culture as well. This can also connect to my real life situation, because the people who practice these are afraid that their tradition might die, which is why they feel the need to make sure that these practices are passed down so it could be alive. My third claim is people are influenced by the people that they are surrounded with at a young age and are told how they should treat and value women, causing them to believe it and enforce it as they grow older and pass on to their knowledge to their other children. This claim is supported by what we've learned through the TOK textbook in the chapter of language, where it states that language and values, which are saying that we use language to persuade and influence others as we tell stories. An example of that can help illustrate this claim is that if a mother taught her children that boys should get an education and a steady job, and girls should learn how to be a good housewife at an early age, as the children grow up and are told the same idea throughout their childhood, once they start growing older, they will start believing that this is what they should pursue, and these are their roles, because everyone around them is encouraging it. Learning about this claim can help me contribute to more understanding to my knowledge question, because parents and peers can also influence someone on how they should treat women because of the knowledge and impact that they pass on to the other about the value and treatment of women at an early age. This claim is connected to my real life situation, because Sangeeta is a 14-year-old woman who is now rebelling against this practice because her mother is influencing her with the idea that this practice is acceptable, as she tells her daughter that this is something that they must do. And a counterclaim is, some people may argue that children do not stay influenced by the people they are surrounded by, because as they grow, their brains are developing, causing them to develop their own beliefs and ideas of treating women. An example of this, to illustrate this claim, is a girl wrote about a situation of how her mom forbade her to hang out with her new friends because she believed that they were rude. But the girl rebelled against her mother's beliefs and ideas about her friends, refusing to stop hanging out with them. This claim helps contribute to my knowledge question, because it helps me understand that an individual sometimes is able to influence themselves on how they should treat or value women. This claim can be connected to my real life situation, because the first people who came up or discovered the myths of the woman during her menstrual cycle probably were the ones who influenced themselves to find out about the myths. My fourth claim is people are influenced by their illusions of how they want to value and treat women by making them start to believe that it is the right way to treat the woman. This claim can be supported by the chapter of perception in the TOK textbook, where it talks about perceptual illusions, which is basically stating that we see, hear, and believe what we want to see, hear, or believe, causing us to think that what we are seeing, hearing, or believing is actually valid and true. So an example of to illustrate this claim is, there are many who are agreeing to the idea that if a woman is raped, it is her fault because she is the one provoking men by wearing revealing clothes, or causing them to have the urge to rape her. People believe and support this claim because they strongly believe that the women are the ones who are showing their cleavage, therefore the man is not wrong for raping her. Therefore they actually start to believe that this is true. Learning about this claim helps contribute to my understanding of my knowledge question, because people's illusions influence them to actually think that treating women the way they are is right, because even though it isn't true, they are blinded by these illusions, causing there to be the belief that what they are saying is valid. So this helps me connect back to my real life situation, because this is the people within the culture of how the practice of the banishing women during the menstrual cycle believe that women are the cause of why men get sick, since they are told by the elders about these myths. causing them to be impure, and thus leading them to prohibiting and banishing women from doing things during their menstrual cycle because they actually start to believe in these myths. So my conclusion to this is that people are influenced to treat women and understand the value of women based on their religions and how the people that they're surrounded by, and it's basically like a chain reaction because when you grow up at an early age, your parents. Okay, so a conclusion to this is that women, the influences that people are influenced by to justify why they should treat women and value women the way they are valued is because of the way that basically the environment that they are surrounded by, which causes them to make beliefs and have illusions about how they should treat women the way that they are treated, and not able to realize that what they are actually doing is an act of violation against the woman's rights.